Welcome to Television Sydney News. I'm Bianca Martins. It's great to have you with us. In this week's Bulletin, a win for Fairfield residents in the Land and Environment Court, concern over plans for what could become Australia's first residential gas field at Campbelltown, and creating glass art in Forest Glen. But first, Penrith Council has officially welcomed home the area's Olympic and Paralympic athletes. 9 of the region's 18 athletes that competed in this year's London Games attended Thursday's event at Penrith Council Chambers. Penrith Mayor Mark Davies presented the athletes with certificates and hampers of locally made products, saying they were wonderful ambassadors for the region and its world-class sporting facilities. Competitors like 18-year-old canoe silver medalist Jessica Fox and 3-time Paralympic medalist Kylie Gauchi say it's great to be back home.
It was just such a high, being there for 2 weeks, training there, being surrounded by the world's best athletes, and for me to come home with a silver medal and to share that moment with my family or my teammates who were there was just fantastic. And now to be home in Penrith is great too.
Oh, it's incredible. As I said, I've been lucky to go to 3 and come home with 3 medals. Like, a lot of people don't go to the Paralympics and don't get a medal, so it's an incredible experience, the whole thing, and the medal's just an added bonus.
Residents opposing 3 boarding houses in Fairfield Heights have had a modest win after a preliminary Land and Environment Court judgment ruled in their favour. The court knocked the 3 plans back on November 5, ruling that they didn't comply with the local environmental plan. Resident Dimitri Grineff says he doesn't want a boarding house in his street because it would increase traffic and noise.
Residents feel it is sort of not appropriate place. It's a quiet family type cul-de-sac, family related, and to double the number of residents of questionable character.
There are 10 units proposed for Ware Street, 12 for Ray Street and 5 for Camden Street.
All residents would prefer to have a clear-cut rejection, and that would send a message to this particular developer and developers all around Sydney area.
Court proceedings are continuing. Macarthur State Liberal politicians say they are confident plans to drill 66 coal seam gas wells near homes will be scrutinised. AGL Energy wants to place 11 wellheads in Campbelltown's western suburbs and gas gathering lines underground. Greens MP Jeremy Buckingham says he believes residents are being used as guinea pigs to test what could become the country's first residential gas field. Residents have until December 18 to make submissions to the public exhibition. The Liberal Party has started its 2013 federal election campaign early in Western Sydney, with opposition Treasury spokesman Joe Hockey visiting Parramatta. Liberal candidate Martin Zeta is vying for one of the state's most marginal seats and got off to an early start by bringing in the party's big guns before an election has even been called.
Parramatta is definitely a key seat and will be a key seat in next year's federal election. There are a number of obviously very core issues to the heart of the families and businesses in Parramatta.
Sitting Labor MP Julie Owens won the seat in 2010 by a margin of just 2,929 votes, a swing against her of close to 9%.
This is one of the seats that needs to change hands in the next election if you are going to have a change of government. Quite clearly, just meeting with some business people this morning, it is obvious there is a general malaise around the business community.
Mr Hockey blamed the carbon tax and Labor's economic policies for the tough business conditions facing Western Sydney business owners. In response, Ms Owens said Australia has the lowest debt, the highest growth rate and lowest jobless rate in the Western world. An asbestos education house called Betty has rolled into Western Sydney for Asbestos Awareness Week. She arrived in time for the release of a new model asbestos policy developed by the local government and Shires Association in partnership with the state government. Adoption of the policy by councils is voluntary, although Holroyd Council wishes it wasn't. Its policy included a system of approval for asbestos demolition by licensed contractors, neighbourhood notification and receipted evidence of safe disposal. But state policy superseded the council control in 2009 and weakened most safeguards, encouraging not only illegal dumping, but the use of untrained people to remove asbestos and insufficient neighbour notice.
Holroyd Council is really keen to ensure that the removal of asbestos is in the hands of local council.
Asbestos Education Committee Chairman Peter Dunphy visited Holroyd City on Thursday, demonstrating through Betty where to find asbestos in homes.
In conjunction with Betty the House, the Asbestos Education Committee, through our Asbestos Education campaign, has launched the asbestosawareness.com.au website, and that website is really targeted for homeowners and home renovators to provide them with lots of information about asbestos, the health risks, the location of asbestos, and also how to safely manage asbestos in their homes.
Meanwhile, Penrith City Council has closed a St Mary's Park after fibrous material was discovered during works to build a bike path. The council has fenced off the site at Bennett Park, and an assessment is being carried out to determine if the material is asbestos. A child protection advocacy group founder says Western Sydney residents will be shocked by the extent of child sexual abuse that will be uncovered by the Royal Commission. Hetty Johnson founded Bravehearts, which has been calling for a national inquiry for 10 years, and says research shows 1 in 5 people are sexually abused before the age of 18. Bishop of Parramatta Diocese Anthony Fisher has also welcomed the Royal Commission. The Bishop says he knows the hearts of the entire Catholic community of the area go out to victims of child sexual abuse. Holroyd Council says a light rail network for Western Sydney should include a route from Parramatta's CBD to Marylands. The suggestion was in response to the state government's draft New South Wales Long-Term Transport Master Plan, now open for public comment. The $9.5 billion network would be separate from existing road and train services, with virtually no sharing of road space. It would improve connections to Castle Hill, Bankstown, Liverpool, Blacktown and Sydney Olympic Park. A Sanssouci family is urging tourists to stay safe abroad after losing their daughter in a scooter accident. Nicole Fitzsimons died in Thailand a month ago, and now Julie and Vince Fitzsimons and their children Matt and Kate want to reduce the number of Australian tourist deaths in Asia. They are urging travellers, particularly young people, not to take risks when travelling in Asia, where road rules are often optional. To honour Nicole's memory, the family has set up a foundation to help gifted performing artists and sports people. Lindsay MP David Bradbury says the proposed closure of the Kingswood and Mount Druitt District Public Education offices will have a devastating impact on the community. At a forum held in St Mary's to discuss the National Schools Plan, Mr Bradbury and Education Minister Peter Garrett slammed the state government proposal to slash $1 billion from education funding. He says federal and state governments need to work together to make sure all schools are funded according to their needs. University of Western Sydney graduates have showcased their work as part of a major exhibition in Darling Harbour. Ryan McClenahan has the details.
Hundreds of people attended the 2 and 2 exhibition at Cockle Bay Wharf, featuring honours work, major projects and professional engagements of the university's Bachelor of Design graduates. The annual exhibition features a diverse range of works.
In the last few years, the artworks that we've kind of showed at the show have been a lot more screen-based, so we've had a lot more sort of interactive, animation, a lot more film-based works as well.
Run over 2 days, specific times were allocated in the exhibition for public and professional viewings.
This year, the exhibition focused on connecting students with industry professionals, bringing 2 and 2 together to benefit both.
And although it was a lengthy process, graduates say their hard work paid off.
It took me 2 months, just intense work every week, or just modifying it, starting from scratch, fixing something. And I finished just a week ago, so it feels really good.
A plumber helped save the life of a dog which fell so far down a Tarrant Point drain pipe on Monday that firefighters were unable to locate it. Roscoe, the 16-year-old blind, deaf and arthritic dog, was out of sight in the drain when plumber Jeremy McPherson came to the rescue with his video camera. The lucky pooch was found safe and well, and firefighters were able to lasso him and return him to his relieved owner. And in sport, the Western Sydney Wanderers have joined 5 other A-League clubs in the race to sign football superstar David Beckham. The former Manchester United and Real Madrid midfielder sent journalists around the world into a frenzy when he announced plans to leave his Major League Soccer club, LA Galaxy. Wanderers coach Tony Popovich would neither confirm nor deny the rumours, but praised the marquee concept for lifting crowds and interest across the league.
Yeah, I think we've seen with all three, especially Del Piero being the first one, that the marquees have had a huge impact on the field. I think they've come and they've all performed well.
Beckham's signing would be a coup for the fledgling Wanderers, who have already had great success with their own Japanese marquee signing, Shinji Ono.
We've noticed a lot of interest in Shinji, of course, from Asia, from abroad. We're getting interest, and obviously, you know, there's a lot of people wanting to come to the game to see his talents and obviously see his teammates and see how well they're doing playing with such a player.
Beckham is expected to make a decision on his future late next month, with English Premier League club Queen's Park Rangers believed to be his preferred destination. In the world of go-kart racing, Joseph Burton Harris is Australia's current junior hotshot. Burton Harris aspires to emulating role models Jamie Whincup and Mark Winterbottom, aiming to compete in the V8 supercars. But in the meantime, the 15-year-old from Rouse Hill is in Portugal, with the 12-man Australian team defending the All Nations Cup against 60 other countries. Already a glamour boy with his own website, Burton Harris has just scored clothing and sunglasses manufacturer Oakley as a sponsor. Talented all-round cricketer Madeline Penner is the first female from the Mounties to be picked for a state team in close to 50 years. The 12-year-old from Green Valley has been selected in the New South Wales PSSA girls cricket team to compete at the National Championships in Adelaide from December 8. It caps a whirlwind 18 months in the sport, where she has won a premiership and been chosen as one of the top 10 cricketers in the Mounties Junior Cricket Club. Madeline says she can't wait to represent her state. And finally, Jennifer McIver was a clinical biochemist until 8 years ago, when she swapped her beakers and test tubes for a kiln. Now a glass artist working from her home studio in Forest Glen, Miss McIver is surrounded by nature, her pet chooks and her blind and deaf dog. All the glass she used is sourced from the demolition site of a Bondi apartment.
If we just gave it a little tap on the side, it would break, but I want to smash it in the middle because I want to form great big long shards for all my work. So there you go. You can hear it still breaking.
Miss McIver's work ranges from vases to Art Deco shower screens and even to Christmas tree ornaments.
This glass would have gone to landfill, and I think this is a far nicer use of it.
And that's all for this week's News Bulletin. For more information on any of these stories, pick up your local Fairfax community newspaper. I'm Bianca Martins. We'll see you next time.